Silver prices have come down, premiums are still high, but there are good messages still to be shared with all of those brand new stackers that may have already bought some silver, or for those of you out there who are still looking to get hold of some silver for the first time. Whilst it might not squeeze to the moon, there are still plenty of good reasons to hold this wonderful metal. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how and where you might want to think about getting some of these, and perhaps maybe waiting for dealers, and embracing second-hand markets like the Silver Forum or Instagram or Facebook or wherever it might be, because the second-hand market is the true power of selling and buying silver, and it's not to be underestimated. Everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to day 4 of the crazy train that is silver squeezing, Wall Street betting and game stopping. I think this is probably going to be my last consecutive video, certainly this week, unless there's any major developments. Silver is not going to be squeezed and it's not going to shoot the moon. I think we all know that deep down by now. But what I want to talk about in today's video is the fact that there are going to be a lot of brand new silver stackers and owners out there of silver, whether you've already bought throughout this last couple of days at higher prices. And I want to talk about what you can expect when you get hold of your silver for the first time, maybe some pointers for brand new people to think about when they get hold of their silver, things like what to do with it when you get it, how to really understand what the market's all about, the buyback prices, what the best things are to do. We'll cover that in the second part of this video. But what I want to focus on at the first part of this video is how can we perhaps go about accumulating more silver if we're a seasoned stacker right now, or even if we're just new, or we bought some last weekend when we thought it was going to shoot the moon, and now pretty much we understand that that's not the case, but we perhaps want to get some more silver because silver prices have come back down. Now the problem is that dealer premiums have stayed quite high, certainly a lot higher than they were last week, but there is no doubt that if you bought some US Silver Eagles earlier this week at a price of, I'm just trying to find my tube of them, at a price of sort of $42, $44 per eagle. You can certainly get them cheaper now because spot prices come down, although the premiums are still high. So we'll talk a little bit about how and where perhaps you might want to think about getting some more silver. Now, I want to point out this is not a financial advice video. This is just me talking about shiny things and using my own experience and actual buying experiences as well. We're going to talk about the Silver Forum, which is a channel sponsor of ours, but I'm also a sponsor of the forum over there. It is a great place to buy and sell, and we'll talk about that market there and how that actually leads into my second part for silver stackers who perhaps are brand new, who've just taken up their silver, about how to think about exiting as you come throughout it. So Silver Forum is pretty integral, and other forums too. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of other secondary markets out there, including Facebook as well. But for me, I have always found the Silver Forum to be a really, really great place to buy and sell silver. So premiums. Let's just talk quickly about premiums because that's what's going to be the most restrictive thing for buying more silver in the next couple of days and weeks. Now, the silver squeeze movement, if you can even call it that, whether it was real or fake or just, a seed planted by Wall Street to prop up their short positions against Gamestop. I mean, conspiracy theories aside, let's just all agree that the dealers jumped on that bandwagon. They created additional hype and hysteria by restricting the amount that they were selling over the weekend, causing a run on physical. And I have no doubt that there was a run. There was no evidence to support otherwise. There was, plenty of silver being sold. I'm sure that these dealers pocketed an absolute fortune over the weekend and then rebought their positions on Monday. And now the problem that a lot of these dealers face is that perhaps unfoundedly, a lot of them may have felt that the price was going to continue to rise. I personally thought we would see kind of into the low 30s last week, or this week I should say, but we haven't. It's come back down now. And the problem that dealers face is that they've restocked a great deal of their silver, most likely at a decent premium over the current spot price. So it's not in their incentive to sell at a cheap price right now. They'll either break even, which is essentially making a loss because of their overheads, or they will be selling at a loss, which is part of parcel of being a bullion dealer. They should understand that it actually averages out over time. They will have made a killing on that first wave and tranche of people going in and buying the physical stuff at the high premium. And then when things calm down and people realize, it's not great. And eventually premiums will come back down to the levels that we saw before the silver squeezing movement really took fire. Premiums have been really quite high though for the last kind of year since the pandemic. Supply chains having issues there, so that's something to definitely factor in and bear in mind. So if you are going to go and buy silver, there are plenty and plenty of silver coins available. A lot of these dealers will still be holding back their stock because, as I say, right now, this week, in the price points that we're seeing, selling at the low prices that they could do to get significant volume out the door, they will be making peanuts if not losses. So they don't want to do that. They want to keep the premiums high. They want to keep the hype a little bit high as well. Say that they've got supply chain issues. Say that they've got restricted stock issues. Don't believe that. There is a lot of silver out there for sale. So where else can you look to buy? Dealers are going to charge you high premiums. So the second-hand market is probably the second, well, this is in my opinion, in fact, the best place to go and buy silver at the best prices. Yes, you can go to a dealer and you can kind of lock in a price straight away, and it's got a lot more, there's a lot less risk with the dealer. There is a little bit more uncertainty with the second-hand market, whether it be on the Silver Forum or whether it be on eBay or Facebook or whatever groups, Instagram. There are plenty of other different, even here on YouTube, there are plenty of different other social media networks that you can get silver on the second-hand market from. So that is definitely something to factor in. You can definitely protect yourself by going to a bullion dealer. However, we will cover this when we get to the second part of the video about understanding how to tell if your silver is real or not. It's not difficult. It is something that you can teach yourself very quickly, very easily. So the second-hand market is not to be feared. In my opinion, it is something to be embraced. And indeed, a lot of these avenues by which you can buy the second-hand silver, they have some significant, people in place that understand this stuff, and the really established sellers over on places like the Silver Forum or other groups and Instagram and stuff, they will have reputations to uphold, and it's not in their interest to flog secondhand fake silver, or it's just not. So be careful, definitely, but understand that actually there's a lot of people out there who are just trying to sell silver and trying to do it the right way on the second-hand market because they understand the market better than perhaps others do. That's just the natural thing. So I use the Silver Forum primarily. I have sold here on YouTube, I have sold on Instagram as well, but the Silver Forum is by far and away the single most lucrative place for buying silver, if that's even the right term, lucrative. You can save so much compared with buying from UK dealers or even US dealers. A lot of new stackers in silver in the UK will look at the silver price, and then they'll look at the dealers' prices, and they'll look at the VAT that you have to put on top of that to get it in. Or if you're buying from Europe now, post-Brexit, you have to pay VAT to get the silver even into the UK. It's a huge additional premium. Of course, none of those are usually available or applicable on the second-hand market silver. You often do get a premium still. You're not going to buy spot price silver, although I have seen spot price silver sold. Even this week over on the forum, there was a whole bunch of spot flatware, which we will, by the way, be talking about at some point very soon, because I bought some flatware silver to showcase. But the point is that you can buy silver at really cheap prices. Even then this week, with the supposed squeeze and all of the restrictions on the amount of silver available, I saw a copious amount of silver being listed for sale and successfully sold on the forum for around the £24 an ounce mark. There were some which were higher, definitely, but there were a lot that's lower. So there's a real good market there. Now, one of the things I do want to say is that the Silver Forum trade section, the buy and sell section, is free to use. You don't have to pay. There's no commission there to sell. There's no buyer's fees to buy. However, the forum is a place that costs money to run. It's inevitable. A big forum, which, by the way, the Silver Forum is probably one of the biggest forums for precious metals out there, certainly in the UK, if not, I'd say the world. It is not a cheap forum to run. It's one of the reasons why we make these Silver Forum bars and rounds for the forum as a merchandise, so that we can raise funds to help keep them running. So there are membership levels, and one of the biggest perks of membership, and the basic level memberships are only about £5 or £6 a month, they gain you access immediately to any sales listing that comes up on the forum. If you're just a regular Joe Blog member that hasn't signed up for any kind of premium membership, you'll have to wait 3 days to see new sales listings. And of course, 3 days is a long time when you've got a very, very good priced item, which is buy it now, and it often will just fly off the shelf. There's a very, very well-known seller on the Silver Forum called Arshimo. He is the single best seller of silver I will ever meet or say. I bought this off him earlier last year. It was a buy it now. I can't remember the exact price I paid. I think it was about £620, I think, for a kilo of silver when that was about 12% over spot price. I think I just snapped it up from him straight away because it was like, it's a lovely looking bar. It's cheap silver. Yes, please, in the bag. Now, of course, I'm a paid member, so I got access to that trade section early. Great, I did it, brilliant. Now, some people will not like the idea of having to pay to be a member of a forum. That's fine. If you don't want to pay to be a member of a forum, great. It's completely your choice, and I'm not here to tell you otherwise. But personally, I think the small amount of cost to that membership, if you're actively going to be using the trade section, you will save that much money in droves with just a single purchase. If you put this in comparison, right now, I've seen 1 kilo bars put up for sale on the Silver Forum for like £770. I think maybe a touch more with the silver price went up this weekend, but last week they were there for £750, £760. If you buy the same kilo bar from a bullion dealer with full VAT, you're going to be paying £950. And you can therein see the difference in the amount of money that you can potentially save. So if you're paying £6 a month and you've saved £250 on just 1 kilo, you can see right there that you've got yourself 2 years worth of essentially free membership on the forum just in that saving alone. So it depends how you look at it. It depends what you want to get from it. Now, with, of course, any secondhand market, you're not necessarily going to be able to gain access to all of the brand new and cool items and coins that come out there. And there are plenty of other good dealers in the UK that you can buy from. Another good one that I've always used is Silver Trader. He often has a lot of the brand new releases. I don't know how active he's been of late, but he is a great seller. But there are lots of people on the forum who will be looking to sell older editions of different types of coins every now and again, and it's not impossible to pick up relatively new releases, 2021 Britannias and the like as well. So definitely worth thinking. And in my opinion, cheap silver is the best silver, and that's where I want to come on to all of you brand new people who may have just bought silver this last couple of days. And if it has been bought at high premiums, perhaps you're in the UK and you've bought it with all of this wonderful tax on it and VAT, and you're sitting there and you're looking at it going, I don't like this, I don't like having paid so much for it. Welcome to the club. That is what silver is pretty much all about, certainly in the United Kingdom. So silver in the United Kingdom is a bit of an oddball metal to invest in because of the VAT, because of the premiums on it as an industrial metal. You will always pay over the odds for it unless you know a mate down the pub who's just happening to sell silver at spot price, or you run a scrap bullion company and people come in without really knowing that they can go to a second-hand market and sell it for higher prices. So my point here is that if you've bought silver and you've bought it at a higher price, welcome to the club. Everybody's done it. I know I did it right at the start. In fact, of these coins here that you see on the table were bought at quite high prices relative to what you could have bought other silver for. Don't live with regrets. It's a really, really good asset to hold. Certainly when you compare it to the likes of Gamestop or any other stock or share, silver will never go to zero. And in my opinion, silver is still ridiculously undervalued. Now, despite all my rhetoric this week that silver is not going to shoot the moon, still believe that firmly. I do think, though, that silver will increase in value over time. I think it's undervalued. I think its role within various different modern industries, electronics, and also solar panels and renewables will come good for it in the end, and it will yield a really good return, in my opinion. But it probably will take a significant amount of time to do that. It's by no means a short-term asset to flip, turn around and make a profit. And if you do get your brand new silver in, excuse me, within the next couple of days and weeks, and you've never owned silver before, depending on what kind of silver I guess you've bought, my advice to you is to embrace it, to enjoy it. At very worst, if you've bought just a couple of ounces of silver or a 100-gram bar from the Royal Mint, and I've seen a few comments saying they bought a 100-gram bar from the Royal Mint with the premium of being really high, enjoy it, treasure it. If it's your very, very first piece of silver, keep hold of it. My goodness, it is going to be so nice for you to have that and hold it for a very long time. And if you can afford to hold it for a long time, that is where you will get the most value from it. Learn from your first piece of silver as well. That is one of my key pieces of advice. You'll see that the vast majority of the silver here is just being handled by my bare hands. Even like American Eagles here. Now, it's not advisable to do this if you want to hold your silver and keep it in as best a condition as possible so that you can sell it on the second-hand market and it looks good if other people want to buy it. But if you're just holding this silver for 20 years to sell back to the open market or to a dealer, it really won't matter what the condition is, because by that time the silver will have drastically increased in its value. Silver is traditionally a monetary currency. It has been used and handled throughout history. So I'll leave it up to each individual person as to their own decision about whether or not they want to handle silver. I would highly recommend not handling premium coins, and maybe even American Eagles, because they're technically, I suppose, premium coins right now. But if you've just got a generic bar of silver, a 1 kilo bar, or a big old chunky, lump of silver, it makes no difference to hold it. And in fact, you'll learn more from holding it, because you'll get to know what it feels like. The amount of heat that it saps out of your hand is quite magical, and of course the density and wonder of it, you'll love it. You really will. If you've got some buyer's remorse, having bought a bunch of silver this weekend at high prices, and then you've seen what's happening within the markets, just wait until you get delivery of it, because let me tell you, it is gorgeous to hold. It is addictive to hold, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be the start of your big old stacking journey. The last thing that I will impart to brand new people out there who are just getting into the game is in fact, there's two things I want to impart. The first is my usual message of, what's the right word? Just take a step back and realize what is right for you in terms of finances. Don't go heavy on silver. Make sure you've got a reserve fund. Make sure you've got a budget in place so that you don't overspend, because the only time that you will lose money on silver is when you sell it for the wrong price at the wrong time. If you hold it for a long enough time, you'll be fine. That is almost guaranteed with silver, from my experience, not financial advice. The second thing that I do want to say is that it really is not the end of the world if you've bought silver at a high price. Don't live with regrets. Just get on with life. It is an asset that will hold value. It is an asset that will not lose value to zero. It might go up, it might go down. Enjoy this ride. It is a fantastic one to have, and educate yourself as much as possible about your investment, about your metal, about how to get money out of it at the other end. Look at the different sale techniques on the forum, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever it might be. Look at those and learn. Watch videos like mine. Watch videos like countless other people here on YouTube. I've got an opinion base which is very much set, I think, in the real world. Call me a pessimist if you will, but it's very much lower down on the silver's wonderful scale than a lot of these other YouTubers. So be careful, but educate yourselves. Understand how the market works, understand how the metal works, and enjoy it. So yeah. And all you seasoned stackers watching this video, comment down below with your thoughts, tactics, and tips and hints, because I know that a lot of new stackers will be reading a lot of these comments, and I know I did when I got started. It was how I got to know the market better. So please feel free to comment down below with your thoughts and opinions. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please make sure you hit the thumbs up and share it around on your social media. That would be fantastic for everything that we do here on YouTube. A big welcome as well to all the new subscribers over this last couple of days. I hope you are enjoying the channel, and if you are, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button. Otherwise, that is it from me. A big thank you to you all for watching. See you next time. Have a great week. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.